Holy shit, 2020. We should have seen this coming, and it only took a global pandemic to open our eyes, finally bring us all to the table, but not an agreement. We have a plethora of problems and no plans or solutions, just politics as usual and endless unsolved equations. While some equations showcase the real issues that require recognition in the spotlight, many die like grapes on the vine. While the heat has been tough for many of us to afford, for the wealthy, a reeking dumpster fire has shown plenty of profits. So here we are, the winter solstice, moving into the cold North American winter, at a time we generally practice giving and understanding. Instead, we're practicing social distancing and unemployment, essential workers in hopes for stimulus checks, corporate bailouts and businesses closing, homelessness and for-lease signs, all behind surgical masks and food bank lines. The pandemic has allowed our corporate government to decide and determine our safety, what stays open and who is essential. The inconsistencies across the board are staggering. At a time we should be united as a nation, we are instead divided on a multitude of issues. It's incredible to believe that here in Tacoma, Washington, right before our eyes, even preceding the protests and the COVID-19 virus, we have witnessed and documented how our authorities and elected officials have attempted to handle these growing problems with just minimal success. And now, with the additional requirements for handling a pandemic, it's obvious that little will be done. One thing is for sure though, we the people, workers deemed essential or not, social and private, are the ones that will have to struggle the most. Together we are stronger, and together we'll get through this, but only if we work together. Looking back, this has been a valuable year. The hazy pen of history will rewrite the current events. Divided or not, the writing on the wall is crystal clear. But then again, hindsight is always 20/20. This river without knowing how to swim, and eventually we learn how to keep the water under our chins. Sometimes this river's so cold to be in, freezing my soul, solidifying my skin, regardless of how far I see and never see my travels in. We're carried by the current, being driven by the wind. The scenery we pass we'll never see again, so we store it up as memories and don't let go of them. We're under a spell thinking that the river should go straight. We set goals and desires to control our own fate, but all the pain we experience is a result of our expectations, cause it's the river's nature to twist and turn, the shit can burn. I know it, I have the same conflict. That's why I try to flow with this river's natural process. Sometimes I watch myself float downstream, I see the beauty of it all, and it feels like a dream. And at that time I appreciate the river's course. Some call it God, reality, momentum, force. I stare up at the naked moon and she stares back at me. I'm outside thoughts and boundaries, I'll look outward to see. The universe is not something separate from yourself. I know you feel alone, but that's why I'm here to help. I know you feel alone, but just look up at the stars, and everything that is out there is what you really are. We gotta learn to see the beauty in each moment of life. Everyone has different paths and we're seeking the light. The world is divided between peasants and kings, but the truth is everybody's looking for the same thing. Now I want you to know the role you play is part of the whole. Without you couldn't be, and I mean that with compassion. So if you ever need anything, anything at all, I'm here for you. All you gotta do is ask. I'm here for you in the same way that you're here for me. Each person is an intricate piece of an infinity. I feel like if you could just see what I see, then we as a humanity could be free. I'm here for you, not for any self-centered reasons, because existence is interdependent and all's related, connected. It's different manifestations of one single mind. You ain't isolated from the world, even though it feels like that sometimes. I see the hurt when I look into your eyes, how you struggle to hold it in, keep it bundled inside. It drives a dull blade deep in my heart, it makes me want to cry. So I'll offer you a hand to help you wash away the rainy sky. I'm running out of words, but I haven't yet made my message clear. So if none of this makes sense, I just want you to know that I'm here. As a musician, as a friend, as a teacher, as a student, to grow and realize that everything's in constant movement. Each problem that we face is just a part of this movement. It seems hopeless, but if we stick together, we'll get through it and return to the essence from which we've been uprooted, and break humanity from these illusions. The second you can look into the sky and see your own reflection, know your head is in the right direction. The river ride ain't always smooth, but with it I live in. Everything is perfect, just the way it is. We gotta learn to see the beauty in each moment of life. Everyone has different paths and we're seeking the light. The world is divided between peasants and kings, but the truth is everybody's looking for the same thing. Now I want you to know the role you play is part of the whole. Without you, it couldn't be, and I mean that with compassion. So if you ever need anything, anything at all,